Hello, and welcome to the Feel Good Sales Podcast. I am your host, Michelle LaRose, and today on episode number 3, I welcome the ever fabulous, fantastic video and growth coach, Jamie Hayen. She's going to share her secrets to transforming a dead Facebook group into a thriving community with the power of live video. So tune in to learn how showing up just once a week can skyrocket your engagement and your sales. So don't miss Jamie's expert tips for overcoming your fears, connecting with your audience, and turning your Facebook group into a sales machine. I'll see you in a few. Before we get started, I have a quick message from our awesome supporter, Whoopsie Hair Ties, because there ain't no thing like a whoopsie thing. An empowering reminder of your strength and resilience to take on life's every day. So join our community of whoopsie wearers, strong and beautiful women who know they are capable of anything. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fantastic. Yes, this is an exciting adventure. This is, there's something new to learn every time. So this is amazing. And today we're actually going to discuss doing just this thing, going live and being brave. So before we started, Jamie was like, well, are you streaming it on your profile? And I was like, no, I'm just streaming it in my group. And she's like, well, why? So I was like, okay, all right. So it's streaming to my entire profile. I thank you for coaching me through that and helping me to do that. So I do want to introduce you guys to Jamie Hayen. Woohoo! Right?
Yeah.
Jamie is an amazing, fantastic, wonderful video and growth coach. And she is here today to help us turn your Facebook group into a thriving, engaged community, just like hers. Y'all, you need to join Jamie's community because she has challenges, she has lives, she interacts, she is fantastic. She is not only talking the talk, she is walking the walk, baby. She's got over 25 years of experience leading corporate training teams. She's an expert at making videos fun, effective, and totally doable. So I want y'all to get ready to learn how to captivate your audience, inspire action, and grow your business. All right. So thank you so much for being on, Jamie. Is there
thanks for
anything
having
you
me.
want to add? You're welcome. Is there anything you want to add to that? Fantastic.
No, that was perfect. That about sums it up. I loved it.
Yes. All right. Fantastic. So, I ask my guests, well, let's see first off, I did get a little notification here. All right. So we have, Puffy G is in the house. He's always, thank you so much. This is fantastic. And I have that. All right. So say hi, y'all, if you're on. And hopefully I can get the notifications. You do say hi.
I regularly have to pull up my phone and then go into my group so that I can see the comments. It's part of it. So
Right? It really is.
You gotta have a workaround.
It's part of the process. Kelly is here. Kelly was my first podcast guest. She was fantastic. And that was an interesting experience. Just trying to get it to go live on my Facebook group, but I was able to do it. We were able to do it. Let's see. We're able to do it. So there we go. Hey, Puffy. All right. Okay. So thank y'all for tuning in. And so the feel good sales process, I've broken it down into the acronym feel good. So I always ask my guests, like, what letter do you fit into? And I think before we came on, you fit into a lot, Jamie.
I know. But
This is what
probably
it's
probably not enough letters to spell a word, right? It's like E-G-O, ego. Oh, that's not a good choice. It's okay.
Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, so you fit into exactly, you fit into the E, engage and excite,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we do with video. We engage. You fit into leverage and link as well. So we're leveraging our connections in our groups. We're linking to people, grow and attract. You fit into, I would say all of them.
I love
Overcome
it.
and create. Okay. Overcome your fear of going live, overcome your fears, and just create.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, you fit into action, optimize and action, because you take action and you also delight and deepen. You delight us so much with your challenges and just in your group and your personality.
It's a lot of letters. Which one are we talking about today? Because we can't talk about all of them.
Right?
Can we?
So how about if we just start with, if we just ask my one question that I ask everyone,
Yeah.
and what is your favorite part of the sales process?
I would have to say the E, engage. I love connecting with people. I love helping, and it's that whole thing of how do you figure out what content to post? What do you talk about when you go live? But it's all of that is designed to connect with people and to get them to engage with you and to comment and to ask questions. And that is by far, that is my favorite part. I love meeting new people. I love helping people. I mean, I think we can all say that. But I think one of the things that I'm really good at is helping to drive that engagement. So, my own Facebook group 2 years ago was completely dead as a doorknob. Nobody was doing anything. So I know what it's like to create this community, and you almost have this belief of like, if I build it, they will come, and then they don't come, or they come and they just don't participate. And so I've been able to completely turn around my group. And now that's what I help other people do, is turn around their group, get that engagement, get that commenting happening. It's definitely my favorite part.
And like I said, you are queen at this. Okay. Your engagement is through the roof. When I do any of your lives or your challenges or even in your group. So like, share the secret. What did you do?
Share the secret. The secret is showing up live once a week. That's all you got to do, once a week. If I've actually pulled my numbers, and I haven't done this recently, so this data is maybe a year old, but if I look at my engagement numbers, and by the way, if you're listening and you're not sure how do you pull your engagement numbers in your group, I'm going to be doing a live next week to show you how to do that and how to like turn this around and get more comments and engagement. So, anyway, I pulled all of the numbers, and at the time, my engagement was like through the roof. The research shows that if your engagement is below 100%, and the reason the percentages are bigger than that is because you have multiple people in your group who are commenting more than once. So you're going to have higher numbers, right? So anything under than 100 is considered poor. And so at the time, I would regularly have engagement rates of like 2,500% in my group. And if I don't do that anymore, that's like overkill. And I'll talk about that in a second. Like, you don't want to just create engagement for engagement's sake, because what happens is you get this great engagement, but you're not selling anything. So it's a balance, right? So on average right now, I average about 1,200% engagement, just to give you all a number. But if I strip out the video, if I go through and I pick out all of the video engagement and comments and I pull that out and I recalculate, it's much lower, like significantly lower. It's still decent, but those videos drive the majority of that engagement. It's also what drives the majority of my sales, because that's when people get a sense of what it's like to work with you. They connect with you personally and professionally. They can ask questions. They can get maybe some sort of small win that allows them to want more. And that's what incents them to want to, book a call or, enroll in one of your programs. So if you're not regularly doing video in your group and on your personal profile, it's a miss. And I would say the only other thing I would say in this space is I think oftentimes people think, oh, I just don't want to. I'm nervous about it. I'm uncomfortable about it. I just don't want to do it. And I'll help you get through that, because I think once you do it, we often build this up in our heads like it's this big, scary, awful, horrible thing. And the reality is, once you do it a few times, you're going to be like, oh, that's not so bad. Like, I kind of like it. I kind of dig it, especially when you start getting the actions you want. You start getting people connecting and showing up and asking questions. That's when it's awesome, right? So it's been a huge, it's made a huge difference inside my group and in my business, just going live just once a week. That's all you got to do.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. That's what this podcast is all about. It's about sales. It's about getting money. It's about getting those clients. And it's about doing it in a way that feels good. But we do have to realize, just like Jamie said, we do have to realize in the beginning, it's going to be hard. It's going to be awkward, and you're going to have stumbles, and that's okay. That's part of the process. It does get easier because we're amazing creators, and we do take what we've learned and the mistakes, and we do make corrections because that's who we are. That's how we work. But we are also amazing in action. And like you said, when you start doing it, you just want to keep doing it again because it's awesome. It's fun. It's like, I get so excited now about doing these interviews, and I just see how many I have lined up. And I'm like, this is amazing because I love talking to people.
You know, there's this, I learned this from somebody not on TikTok. This was from LinkedIn. I wish I could remember who to give credit to, but anytime you're learning something new, and learning video or doing video is something new, but it applies to anything. If you're learning, think about even in your personal life, you're learning how to knit, or you're learning how to golf, or whatever new hobby you're taking up, you have to go through these steps, and it's start, suck, get better. And there's no other way around it, right? But the problem is that we often don't start because we don't want to suck. We don't want to be bad at something, so I'm just not even going to do it. And the reality is that you have to take the first step. You have to start. Everybody's first videos, they sucked. Any of the gurus, any of the big people that you follow, their first videos, if you dug all the way back, if they're still even out on the internet, you go back and watch, they were awful. My first videos were awful, because you're not going to get better without doing it. It's one of those skills that it's like riding a bike. You can't just watch a video on how to ride a bike and be like, okay, I can do it now. You have to actually practice, and you have to fall, and you have to go through that suck. And so people don't start because they don't want to suck. The other thing that happens is, because they suck, they give up. Oh, this is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna quit. And the reality is, they're right around the corner from getting better. You've got to go through the suck in order to get better. So if that inspires any of you, I hope it does, to at least start. Take the first step. You're going to be surprised it's not as hard as you think it's going to be.
So I'm writing that down. Start, suck, get better.
Yep.
Start, suck, get better. I am a huge fan of Mel Robbins. I don't know if you listen to her podcast.
Yeah.
She's amazing. So the podcast this morning, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I just looked at my phone, and we have so many people watching. I'm like,
that's great.
I know, this just touches my heart. I love this. Okay, so her podcast this morning actually was from a couple of days ago, but I listened to it this morning. And it was exactly that message. It was really about admitting that it's gonna suck, and know that it's just part of life. And when you admit that, and when you say it out loud, you're taking the power away from it. Mm-hmm. And then you get better. So it's called How to Get Motivated Even When You Don't Feel Like It.
Yeah.
And it's her podcast from, when was this? I think 4 days ago. How to Get Motivated. When was this? Okay. Anyway, I don't know when it was. It wasn't that long ago. Mel Robbins. Sunday. It's from Sunday. There you go. I can read. It was from Sunday. So today's Friday. So it was 4 days ago. But yeah, it was exactly that. You got to start. You got to start and admit that you're going to suck, and it will get better. I promise. And what we're doing is we're actually creating those little neural pathways in our brain, training our brain to do these things, to go live on Facebook, to do anything, to start a podcast, to do
Totally.
to start a business, to create an offer. I mean, as entrepreneurs, and I've talked about this on this podcast before, and I know you can totally relate to this, Jamie. It's really hard. It's a lot of work, but it's also what we love. So
I often feel like, especially coming from a corporate background, one of the hardest things for me to adjust to was I don't have a team, right? Like I was a director in a big company, and I had this massive team of people, and so we had an idea, we would collaborate, brainstorm together, we would solve problems together, people would go and do work, and like that's how I spent the majority of my career. And then you became an entrepreneur, and you're like looking around going, who's going to do the work? Who are the people? And you don't got any people. It's all on you, right? You've got to come up with the ideas. You're wearing so many different hats. You're trying to be the salesperson, the marketer, the execution, the operations, the HR. I mean, you're trying to do all of it, and it gets overwhelming. And the only thing I think I can share with your audience here is you're not alone, even though it feels like it. Even though you feel like you're alone and it's hard, the reality is you just have to find your community. You have to find a community that you feel connected to, that you feel like these are my people and this is where I want to hang out. And it may be your own group, it may be somebody else's group, but you have plenty of support. You just have to recognize that they're out there and that they're willing to help you in whatever way you need the help. So yeah.
I love that you said that, because so many of us do feel that we are alone. And like some of the places you can go to your local networking. Okay. You can join a BNI group. You can join NIA. You can join, I do a mastermind every Monday. And I also have a new mastermind that I've joined. I'm in multiple groups, and the engagement there and the owner, get to know the owner. Jamie's the owner of a group. I've gotten to know her. Get to know the owners. We're a wealth of information. And the reason we started the group was because we want to help other entrepreneurs. That's the main reason we started our group. We want to make money too, but we love helping people. It's just in our hearts. Yes. Speaking of BNI, I'm just so excited about some of the guests that I'm going to have on the podcast. Next week, I think it is, I'm going to have Ivan Meisner on my podcast. I'm like, yes, he is the founder of BNI. You don't know who he is.
Very cool. Anyway, that's exciting.
I know. I'm so excited. I am so excited. And I love all of my guests, what they bring to the table. Jamie, when you said yes, I was like, oh my God. Because, you go live on your group all the time. And when we see someone, we kind of feel like they're untouchable, but we're not.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's just about, and I think the message for all of you out there that are maybe just starting your Facebook group, or maybe you have a Facebook group that's not living up to the expectations that you have, right? But you still have people that at one point or another join that community, and they're looking for you to create the vibe and the energy in the space. You have to drive it. You have to figure out what is it that you want it to be like. For example, do you want it to be like party all the time, party atmosphere? Or do you want it to be like, we're just having a glass of wine, sitting by the fire, chilling, talking? You create that. I had a message from somebody this morning who said, I don't know how to get people to comment. I don't know how to get people to engage. And I said, well, are you asking questions? And she went, no. I said, that's where you start. Start asking questions. Be genuinely interested in helping the people in your community, interested in what they're doing, what's going on, what their problems are, what their challenges are, and start there. And you will be amazed at the engagement that you will get just by being human, right? I think we often overthink. I know I'm a classic overthinker. We overthink and we think social media has to be this big thing and it has to be, oh my gosh, it's so hard. And we have to get all the words right. And we have to, no, it's just about connecting with people. It's just about talking to them like you would if we were all just sitting around a campfire having a chat, or we were all at the cafe having a coffee. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to ask them? That's what you're just doing it virtually instead of, in a place. There's something that I don't know if you follow Jasmine Star, Michelle, but Jasmine's great. And one of the things that I learned from her way long time ago was she said, social media is the start of the conversation. It's not the whole conversation. I think we miss that. We create a post. I coach my clients all the time on this. We create a social media post and we just jam everything in there. It's all filled with words and the graphic has all the words because we feel like I got to give them everything. And the reality is all you're trying to do is dangle a piece of bait in front of them. Sorry for the fishing analogy here, but you're just trying to dangle something and make them go, ooh, this is interesting. I'm curious about this. And now they want to learn more. Now they want to read the rest of it. Now they want to join a group. Now they want to go on a Zoom call. Now they want to attend a live because you've piqued their interest. And I think that's the thing we miss most. And what often piques our interest the most is when we get asked questions about ourselves and we want to share that. What do you think about this? How do you feel about that? And we want to contribute as humans. We want to contribute to the conversation. So the best advice I can give all of you in your groups, on your profile, anywhere, is to start conversations. Just start asking questions. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes.
Ask questions and then engage.
Yeah.
When you do ask the questions, that is a huge part of the process, is actually engaging. Once you do ask that question and someone responds, actually don't just love it. Don't just do the reaction. Actually write words down.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, not just words, ask another question.
Yes.
Don't rapid fire give them 75 questions to answer. Just ask the next question. Just have a conversation. It's a little bit slower. It's not like, Michelle, if you and I were sitting in a cafe having a coffee, we'd be going back and forth like questions. I know we would be. What do you think about this? And it would just be like that. It's a little bit slower on social media because you're having those same back and forth conversations, but you're going to ask a question, then you got to wait for them to see the question. Then they're going to respond. There's more time, but the concept is still the same. So rather than just comment on what they shared, ask them more. Ask them an additional question. Ask them to share. The more back and forth you get in the comments, the more engagement you're going to have overall.
That is absolutely brilliant. And I think one of the things that we look at is that, number one, we want instant, we just want instant gratification. But two, like what I do when I see someone ask a question on another group or whatever, and it's like I see 200 people have responded or something. Hey, that's okay. Respond anyway.
Yeah.
Engage with that person. And that's what I did a couple of days ago. Someone asked a question in a group and she had maybe 50 comments, and I asked a question and she engaged. Now we friended each other, and we're talking on Messenger. So it is, I don't want to say that it is that simple, but it is for some people going outside of their comfort zones. And for me, going outside of my comfort zone is actually making that first response, or asking that question.
Yeah. Well, I think, what you say makes me think about, we think that we're supposed to just jump in with a pitch. So you ask a question and you get people who respond, and then you immediately are like, ooh, these are people, they're ready to buy, pitch. And those people are going to be like, whoa, right? It's the equivalent of we're on a first date and we're going to skip dinner. No, you're going to have dinner. You're going to have conversation. It doesn't mean that you have to be back and forth 300 times in the comments with somebody, but especially with the changes that Facebook has made in Messenger, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to make sure that you have a genuine connection. Otherwise, they're never going to see that DM. It's going to be hidden in the pending request and they're never going to get it. And then you're wasting your time. So take the time to just ask a question or two and then move to the DMs. You're going to have so much more luck because you've had a stronger connection with that person. And especially if you're you're offering something that they want, they'll go and get the message out of the hidden profile section and pull it in. Otherwise, it's just it's like too fast, too much, too soon. So be careful. Everybody should be careful on that. But
Yeah,
you're right.
I
We're
agree.
in a hurry. We're in a hurry, and we
Mm-hmm.
think that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, or
We
we jump
think,
on,
yeah,
we try to jump on the opportunity. It's like, oh my gosh, this person asked for, let's say, a website designer or something.
yeah,
So like 50 of the comments, like 90% of the comments are, oh, I can help, I can help, I can help. Well, how do we even know that's what they're asking for?
you don't. That's why the comments, if you look at those posts, right, and you got 50 people going, me, I'll do it, here's my link here, and or whatever, and then you'll always find one or two people that get it, and those one or two people,
Mm-hmm.
instead of pitching, will simply comment and ask a question. What are
Yeah,
you trying to accomplish? What is the challenge that you're facing? And if you really watch the person who posted that, that's where they direct their time. That's where they're
exactly.
responding. And that's where they're
Yeah.
going to get the biggest traction. It's not just from dropping a link, right? It's from being genuinely curious about what this person is doing. I tell my clients all the time, think about what you would do in real life, right? This whole virtual world, we're still navigating, we're still figuring it out, right? But if in the real life you had somebody go, I don't know, I think I need a website, or I don't know what I need to do something. You wouldn't just be like, here's my business card. You would be like, okay, well, wait a minute. What are you trying to do? What have you done so far? What's the challenge? You would ask questions to assess whether or not you could actually help them. You got to do the same thing virtually. You got to do the same thing
I
online.
I agree. I agree. I love it. I love it that we have established that the online world is like the real world, only slower.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So many people are afraid of social media. And it's evil. It takes time. Yes, it does. It does take time. Um, and that's okay. I'm looking to see if anybody else has made a comment.
Well, you're
If
doing that.
anybody,
I want to talk to that thing about social media is hard, bad, evil, awful. I hate it. I was
please.
there.
Yeah.
I've been there myself. So I get it. But what I have found is that I just didn't know what I was doing. And I think that's the case in so many things, even with going live or even doing a Facebook group. You often hate the thing because you don't understand what you're supposed to be doing or how it's supposed to work or how it's supposed to be easy. And as soon as you figure out a strategy, as soon as you have a plan, a roadmap, if you will, you go, oh, this is how it's supposed to work. And then you're like crazy because you're like, this is easy. It's easy. It's fun. It's effective. Social media can be a blast if you're doing it right. And if you're not, it's because you're probably trying to do something or you haven't learned. That's really what it comes down to. You just maybe haven't learned yet how to do it effectively. So find a course, find a coach, find a group, find somebody that can help you with this. Somebody who's done it, who's been where you are, and you'll be amazed at how much easier and more successful you will be at it.
Yes, I agree. And there are so many groups, so many coaches, so many courses that you can learn these things. And that's how I learned. I was like Facebook evil for so long. But what I wasn't seeing, what I didn't know about was this gem of Facebook business side that's full of entrepreneurs who love and care about each other and want to help and are there in such a supportive community. Talk about finding a community. It has been an amazing experience connecting with people around the world who are passionate
That's
about the
the cool
businesses.
part. That's the cool part. Yes, it's slower, but the reach is so much bigger. I mean, I have clients in India. I have clients in Australia. Who would have thought? Like if you would have asked me even 5 years ago, Michelle, if I would have a client who lives in India, I would be like, how would I ever meet somebody in India? And so look at the power and the awesomeness that social media has brought us. It's really quite cool. It's really quite cool.
It is. It really is. It is. It's amazing. It's a miracle. It's everything. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan, and I know you're a huge fan. And is there anything else you want to say about this topic, or like we can go on to how people can get in touch with you?
Let me think here if there's anything else I would say. Okay, let's do one more thing, because you said this at the very beginning about people who are nervous about showing up live. Like, and oftentimes that nervousness comes from a fear of something that we don't quite understand, right? So again, back to the whole, once you learn, it'll be easier. But the best little tip that I can give you if you're nervous is, oh gosh, I have so many, but I would say this: mindset means a lot. And if you are constantly telling yourself, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Oh my God, this is going to be awful. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. If you're creating that, it's almost like the universe is sitting there with a tablet going, oh, so you want more of this? Okay, I'll send you more of this, right? And instead, if you just flip it, being nervous and being excited are almost the same chemical reaction in our body. So if you just change your mindset when you're feeling that, you got the flutters, or you're starting to sweat a little bit, or you're like, whoo, whoo, whoo. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so nervous, say, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is important. I can't wait to do this. This is going to be so fantastic. I got all this energy, but it's going to be fantastic. And when you shift that mindset, you will be amazed at how much more you will push through because of it. So if nervousness is your issue, learn, figure it out. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I tell people all the time, go and create a Facebook group that you're the only member in. Call it, in my case, Jamie's practice room or Michelle's playhouse or whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever else. You don't let anybody else in there. Practice in there. No one's ever going to see it. You could practice 5 times a day. Nobody would ever see those videos. But the more you do it, the easier it gets.
I agree. And I would even maybe go a step farther with that. Invite a friend in.
Sure.
Invite someone who is starting out like you are. That's what I did actually with another Jamie, with the Jamie Maddox. We went on both of our groups when neither one of us had a whole lot of people. Well, I didn't. Jamie had a few more than I did, and we went live, figuring it out.
Yeah.
So we worked together, and you can find somebody. Trust me, you can find somebody who's gonna be in there with you. Because what we worked on was, oh my gosh, how do you actually go live? And at that time I was using Zoom, and it's like, how do we do this? So we figured it out together. Or you can figure it out on your own. Just as helpful. But don't be afraid to ask someone, because they're probably just as excited and nervous about it as you are. And I could talk for days about reframing your feelings, your emotions. You know, it's like I've had to reframe some of that, because it is the emotion of fear and excitement. They feel the same.
Very similar. Yes.
Yes. So it's like your brain doesn't know. So like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And if you notice, that's what I was saying. That's what I say. So I love that. That is brilliant. That is a great way of really reframing how you look at life too.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and it's being aware. That's what I've talked about before as well. It's being aware. I could just go on and on about that, but, and I know you could too, Jamie.
This could be a 3-hour-long podcast. Let's do it. No, just kidding.
I know, right? I could just talk and talk and talk. That's what I do on my chats, on my cup of chats. They're only supposed to be like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Yeah. I love to talk about this stuff. So that's the reason I created the podcast too.
Yeah. Love it.
I am so grateful and so thankful that you came on today and you spread your amazing knowledge and let us capture some of your magic. You are awesome. I love it. So how can we work with you, get in touch with you, join your group? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very active on Facebook, so you can follow me on my personal profile there. If you want even more, join my group. It's called Get on Camera. There's some other words, but that's the gist of it. I'm sure you're going to have links in the show notes somewhere. And the cool thing about joining my group is you can practice in my group every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I invite anybody in my group to go live and introduce themselves. And in that live, you can talk about your business. You can pitch whatever you want, as long as you're introducing yourself in that video. So I have people who are just getting started, and those lives on Wednesdays are like 5 seconds long. Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a video and growth coach. Bye. And that's okay, because they're just getting started. And I have people who go live on Wednesday and they'll talk for 15 minutes. We have to practice in order to get better. So I also, for anybody who joins my group, I also have a free 7-course video and workbook course that I'll give you for free that helps you get started. How do I go live? How do I actually do it? How do I manage my nerves? And then you're going to learn a 3-step process that helps you learn what to talk about and how to talk about it when you go live. So if that's something you're interested in, come on and join us.
Brilliant. Amazing. And Jamie, you also have challenges
Yes.
in your group, and you have a multitude of people in that. And we don't only have to use this knowledge in our groups, you guys.
No,
okay. This
no.
can be, you can go live in LinkedIn, on YouTube, anywhere. You can go live on your profile like I'm doing right now.
I have a client. Yeah. I have a client who is in my membership, and she uses it for her podcast. Brilliant. And it's not even a video podcast. It's what you're basically going to learn when you work with me is presentation skills. How do I organize my thoughts so that I can connect with people and lead them on a path to learn and to want more and to want to work with you? And so these presentation skills, while we focus mostly on lives or videos, it applies to anything where you're trying to communicate something to your audience. So yeah, it can be anywhere, any place. It also, I have somebody every once in a while will be like, this helps with posts too. And I'm like, yes, it's the same concept, right? It's how do you communicate with your audience?
And we have to do that as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That's how you get sales. Bringing it back around. That's how we market. You have to let people know what you do. And an excellent way of doing that is going live and actually making those connections. They are invaluable.
Totally agree.
And I will have all of Jamie's notes, all of Jamie's links in the show notes and also in the live chat. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll get those up as soon as I can. And I did finally, so I have 2 podcasts published plus my introduction, but I did finally this morning, I took some action after listening to that Mel Robbins podcast. I took some action and I signed up. The podcast is now available on Apple, iHeartRadio, basically all of the major platforms. It is there. Spotify, and that's through Riverside. Riverside is it just makes it easy. But I'm glad I found it. So, and yes, and if you want help with your sales process, with marketing, I coach that. So contact me. That's what I do. And like sales, growth, video, contact Jamie. I will refer you to her. I've got in my tool belt, I've got a lot of people to refer. So I thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I like I said, I am so thankful and so grateful that people come on this podcast, and they are so amazing. They're so amazing. And we want everyone who listens to make more sales, because when you make more sales, you make more money. And that's what we love. So thank you so much, Jamie.
And you're very welcome.
You're welcome, and I'll be seeing you in your Facebook group.
Yeah, Thursdays at 12 Mountain is when I go live every week. So come on, join us.
Yes, we will. We will. All right. Thank you, and bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining me on another fabulous episode of the Feel Good Sales Podcast. Again, I want to thank my special guest, Jamie Hayen, for her telling us all about how to engage with your audience on Facebook like never before. But be sure you tune in next week, all right? We're going to have some amazing guests lined up. We'll be talking first with Trisha Dyka. She's an energetics and beliefs coach. And then we'll be talking to C.T. Tarbach. She is the queen of ChatGPT, and she's going to teach us some secrets about how to create an AI twin. I'm so excited. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please, oh please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. If you have any questions or thoughts, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you next time, and keep on feeling good about those sales, because remember, when you feel good about the sales, you make more. And when you make more sales, you make more money. Bye.